Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about one of the questions asked in 67th MAINS BPSC. Write an essay on Quit India movement in 1942 and was it a spontaneous movement? People ask me, actually already one conclusion is given whether it was spontaneous or not. But then prior to that they are asking one essay on Quit India movement. In any essay, there are three parts. One is preface, one is body, and one is conclusion. Now the question comes in place: what would be the preface, and what actually basically these two questions. One question they are asking simply essay, and second question they are asking a spontaneous one. When it is essay, you may write about the course of the event and then how it all happened. As you know that 1942 is a game changer in Indian history. Why? Because prior to that, whatever movement started in India, they asked about dominion status, they asked about whatever. But this was a complete disillusionment from the previous stand on the movements. People were asking, and even the leadership were prepared for an all-out war. Actually, the Second World War had disillusioned the people of India that nothing is going to happen. But the point is that when the Second World War erupted, actually our entire national leadership was divided at that point of time. According to Jawaharlal Nehru, at the time when fascist versus colonials or the imperials war is going on, we must take side with the imperials. According to Subhash Chandra Bose, we must take opportunity at this moment and take the side of the fascist in order to gain independence. For Gandhiji, the point was that if the Japanese come in India, they will come only because Britishers are here. If the Britishers leave, we can deal the Japanese at our own. But let at first the Britishers leave this country. So this was the first time a majority of leadership agreed for the final secession from the British Empire. This never happened in the history of India. Even during the personal satyagraha, Delhi Chalo movement, Gandhiji was limited to the freedom of expression. But now the same Gandhi from Gwalior tank, 8th of August 1942, declaring about the Britishers quit our nation, and at the same time he is calling to the to the citizens of India, to the people of India, that please arise and awake and do or die whatever you think fit. This do or die was such a mantra that many people took it in the violent form. And this was the movement when people were not ready to accept any leader. Why? Because people had taken their law at their own. This was for the first time, different places we had the parallel governments, be it Chitu Pandey Balia, be it Nana Patil Satara, be it Jatiya Sarkar in Bengal, be it Prati Sarkar of Nana Patil, be it Ajad Dasta of Jayaprakash Narayan. So it was a huge response. Go anywhere in India, be it south or north, people had turned violent towards the government, and government had no other means than to resort to the suppression of the movement by the violent means. But even then government failed to contain the parallel governments at times. It was a sort of impulsive movement. Everywhere people could see the venom against the government. It was not a disciplined movement like the CDM. It was not somewhat like it was a haphazardly grown movement, because even our leadership was confused what to do with the present government. And that is why we find such a massive response from the people. You see, many people had done, nobody told them to make underground forces, nobody told them to make this radio and all, but then everything was there. And we do not get any financer or whatever. It was just by the zeal, by the passion, by the patriotism, the feeling of patriotism. In Patna, 7 school boys, including one college boy, was killed while hosting the flag at Secretariat building. So different places, different sort of movement were gathering momentum in India. Now the point is that whether it was a spontaneous movement, spontaneous means suddenly erupted sort of movement. No, it was not like that, because previously already the Congress government resigned and they were asking, what is the moral ground of entering into the war without consulting the elected government? Prior to that, Lithgow came with some offers, august proposals. Prior to that, Gandhiji waged the Satyagraha, October Satyagraha or personal Satyagraha. Prior to that, even Cripps came with some proposals which the nationalists discarded. So it was not the spontaneous movement, because already the accumulated grievance was there, accumulated things were there in the mind of the nationalists. So always keep it in mind that this was the movement which was already gaining its ground after the failure of the personal Satyagraha. So had the government kept eye on it, definitely they could have read the psyche of the people. But then they failed to do so, and this movement came out to be one of the greatest ever movement India had ever seen, and within 4 or 5 years even government decided to leave the country, because now the way, the manner in which the hatred had shown to them was unprecedented. And that is why I do not believe that it was a spontaneous movement. Thank you very much.